want to reach 1 million dirhams in revenue every month.
What does Impact Wave do is simply helping business owners build a foundation that can help them grow their business. I believe everyone's goal should be that they should start having a work-life balance at the end of the day.
Welcome to the Marina Vibe podcast through Procast. Today we have Ranjitha Raghavan from Impact Wave, who is going to give us some amazing insights for the business world, for the tools to use, and so many new things. Welcome, Ranjitha.
Thank you, Marina. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
Outstanding.
Perfect. So, Ranjitha, this is my first question to all my guests from BNI. Okay. Do you think there would have been a chance for us to meet if BNI was not the platform?
I guess probably not.
Yes.
That's the beauty of BNI.
That's the beauty of BNI. So
Yeah.
I think that is when we met, and you were the secretary treasurer when I first came.
Yes,
And then you
absolutely.
became the VP, and you
Yes.
became my first point of contact. So whenever I had some troubles, I used to pick up the phone call and just
Yes.
do a phone call to you. So
Yes.
thank you for being so wonderful, and you have been an amazing human altogether.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad I could make your BNI journey smooth and easier.
Yes,
So,
you definitely did. You played a very important a place in my initial days.
so glad to hear that.
Okay, now, like they say in BNI, let's do your 30-second pitch. So tell us,
Yes.
what do you really do?
All right. So I am Ranjitha Raghavan, and I have started this company called Impact Wave. What does Impact Wave do is simply helping business owners build a foundation that can help them grow their business. So think growth, think Impact Wave. That's what I would like to say about it.
Amazing. And because I have been taking your service as well, I think you have come very handy, and you have started this journey at the very right time, I must say, because every business reaches a place where they start with a mess and then they want to get organized.
Yeah.
And that's the story of majority of the SME companies that we have.
Yes.
And services that Impact Wave provides help us to become a little bit more organized.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So you got this idea to start Impact Wave. Could you take us a little bit on that journey as well?
Yeah, sure. That's a really interesting question because it came completely from my own business journey experience. When I was starting out, I wish there was a company called Impact Wave that would guide me in building process systems and structure in my company so that growth was not feeling like overwhelming.
Yes.
When it's starting, it's amazing. You have an idea, you are full of, the vision is there, you want to conquer the world.
Yes.
But as growth keeps coming up, then it's for like putting out fires every day. It's like a daily firefighting. We are trying to close one hole, but there's water coming out of other hole.
Yes.
There are different analogies I hear from a lot of business owners, and that's exactly what I was also feeling when I started off with multiple businesses. And by the time I was into my third business from over the last 15 years, what I realized is enough is enough. I need to have a structured framework which I can implement so that I can start focusing on the business rather than being in the business.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I have now made it as my mission to help other business owners not have a clueless approach to business journey. Instead, I want to give them a structured roadmap which they can simply follow, which should be simple, sustainable, so that even after I move on, my engagement is over, they should be able to move it ahead with confidence and with a team that they can rely on.
Yeah.
Because what I heard, last 3 years back, that really changed my life. In Harvard, they does this business reviews, and they mentioned 50% of the time that top CEOs commit is to high impact strategic activities. But when I started auditing my own time on a weekly basis, I just started writing
Okay.
every hour what I do. This also something that we used to do when I was working in an oil and gas company for a year. And there we used to have to log each of our man hours as to what we are doing. So this article I read about Harvard Business Review, and I started thinking, let me audit my own time. And when I started writing what I'm doing every hour, I realized I'm being so unproductive. I'm just, again, firefighting, making some random calls. At the end of the day, I feel like I've not done anything.
Yeah.
And every day is so unpredictable. So then I was like, is there a different way to it? And yes, there is. It is a change, but it's also a transformation that will give you so much of peace of mind. And what I realized is if we build repeatable systems that becomes like a habit for your day-to-day activities, you can actually become more of an entrepreneur, a true CEO.
Yeah.
Rather than a chief everything officer. That's what I say.
Yes. I know every time you say that, I'm like, so true that.
Yeah.
And I want to just say one thing. You have come up with this business because you have experienced it yourself.
Yes.
And that's why you know what is practically can be done.
Yeah.
Not just in our Google Sheets, not just in our Excel sheets and
Yeah.
CRM system,
Yes.
but that can be really implemented in our everyday business.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Knowledge is no more the superpower.
Yeah.
We have search engines, we have AI. Knowledge is out there. We have
Yeah.
all the social media. Lot of information, you Google it up, you search up, it's there. But what is now the superpower is implementation.
Yes.
And that is the key. And we need someone to handhold you and be your accountability partner to help you go ahead with that knowledge that you may have or you may not have, doesn't matter. But the point is we need to start implementing structures and systems in place so that the business can go to the next level. And
Amazing.
that's my concept.
Okay. I think you are in the perfect business at the right time. That's what I'm going to say. As another business owner who finds it very difficult to, implementation of the policies that we have set for our companies.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. What makes your brand stand out amongst your peers and competitors?
I think you already answered that question. I come from a business owner perspective rather than just a consultant.
Yes.
So I understand the pain points of a business owner. And that's one thing that I can confidently say, that when I come in as a consultant, I also bring my own business experience wherein I had implemented the frameworks that I provide in my own business, and I can show those case studies.
Yeah.
Now my other businesses, they are running by really high performing team members.
Yeah.
We have weekly review systems, monthly review systems, and quarterly review systems, which helps them also be accountable. In fact, they come up now with new goals and vision for the company, which we see it is so empowering. We have actually little entrepreneurs in our organization.
Wow. That's so sweet. Yeah.
So they actually see the company as their own. And that's exactly what I would like to have. I would like all the business owners have in their, organization.
And if that really happens, I think we will be having a dream organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. How do you ensure that your reputation for credibility remains strong?
Yes. So I believe credibility is something that needs to be built over time. And also the approach to building that credibility would be first is through transparency, and second by showing tangible results. And we have something where we show measurements about what results that can be expected after the engagement with us. And after the engagement, they can actually compare the before and the after.
Correct.
So those things that we measure, helps them to, understand that, okay, this is making sense. This kind of implementation is something that they really needed. So then they start, referring us with confidence. So that has been my journey of, building credibility. I don't promise magic, but I promise true transformation after implementing the systems that we recommend.
And I think I just want to add a little bit more for your credibility. The approach that you have, more listening, less talking. That is what I think is going to build you a lot more credibility
Yeah.
in the coming years. Because you, rather than trying to say, follow this, implement this,
Yeah.
you listen to us and you figure out what is needed for us at that particular hour.
Yeah.
And that is the true value of credibility as well.
Thank you, Marina. That's so sweet. In fact, as much as I follow a framework which is followed by thousands of business owners around the world, I've taken that, but I also tweak it and customize it to each and every business owner's requirements.
Yeah.
That's important. It's very easy to, pick up some frameworks and tell, like, okay, do this.
Yeah.
But that alone is not going to help anybody. So I make sure that I understand, their requirements, the need of the hour, what are their pain points, what exactly are they struggling with.
Yeah.
And then, we
Take it
kind of collab the framework that I have and the requirement and sort of combine it to make sure that it's very relevant for them.
Absolutely. And you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you, Marina.
I know I'm doing a lot of tarif, but you really deserve it.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
What's the biggest challenge most founders face when scaling up, and how does Impact Wave help?
Yes, that's a really an amazing question again. One of the biggest challenges that I feel most business owners face when they grow is owner dependency.
So true.
Right?
Yeah.
Initially, yes, you are the chief everything officer. But as you grow, you can't afford to do, because then it becomes a stagnation where you are involved in everything. So what we do first is a understanding of what the business stage is right now. So we do a business competence assessment. And we look through each and every element in your organization, and we try and understand what is the owner dependency in each of those different departments or different functions in your organization. If into revenue generation, how much of owner dependency is on revenue generation? In lead generation, how much of owner dependency is there in lead generation? If you are into client servicing, customer handling, customer complaint handling, HR, recruitment, payroll, administration, we look at all of these activities and we try and make a understanding and audit about how much owner dependency is going on in each and every department. And then we look at what is the efficiency of the results that's happening in each of these functions. And then we look at how much of it is happening consistently. These three things, if it is not aligned, we will be just going in circles. And as a business owner, I believe everyone's goal should be that they should start having a work-life balance at the end of the day, right? They should be able to go back to their family, see their family, spend some time with friends, have some me time, right? If not, you're just, self-employee, right?
So I think we all start our business saying that if we will be own boss, we have our own time.
Freedom.
We can do whatever we want. We can talk to whoever we want. We can get whatever clients we want, and we'll have a lot of travels and a lot of money coming in our bank account. But the reality is not that.
Very different.
Yeah.
Yes.
So definitely, work-life balance has its own different way. Maybe for the first 1 year, you'll have to put in a lot of energy in your business. But after a year or so, you'll have to figure out why did you become an entrepreneur
in the first place.
Yes. So well said.
Yes. And that's one of the challenges I think most business owners come across. They probably think 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, I should be able to get out of it.
Yeah.
But if they don't, that means there is something wrong in the way they are sort of doing management of their business.
Yes.
While most business owners would be amazing at their craft, at whatever business domain they are part of, business management may need some tweak. And that's where I come into place. I help them build those management systems where they can reduce their owner dependency, make sure their activities, important activities, client servicing, revenue generation, lead generation, and everything else happens consistently. And third, it's at the highest efficiency possible.
Yes. Well said.
Yeah,
Well
yeah.
said. Thank you. So, which one system every growing business should have? Which is that one system?
Yes.
I think everybody will be looking forward for that answer. Be careful when you're answering that answer.
Actually, it's the most easiest system,
Yeah.
but also most overlooked.
Okay.
It's simply reviewing everything that you do in the company. Having a good review system is the key to understanding what's going on and then understanding what is the bottleneck to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
And third, to make those changes. If we don't measure what we're doing,
Yeah.
we can't improve.
Yeah. So
And
true.
having a measuring system is the key thing that I feel every business owner should have. Most business owners, they keep a measuring system for their revenue. But it has to be implemented in every department. That is my, my thought process to it.
Okay. Now I have another question. So revenue is very easy.
Yeah.
I want to reach 1 million dirhams in revenue every month. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we see, oh, this month we made 1.2, this month we made 800,000. Very easy, right? Numbers.
Yes.
How do we measure other things?
Yes.
Like productivity of our time, productivity of our employees' time.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do we do that?
So again, what I say to my clients, you set your goals for each and every department
Yeah.
of your company, and then don't measure your goals, measure your activities. So first is defining what activities are necessary to do consistently to achieve your goals. Once we identify what are those activities, let's say you are looking at generating leads.
Yeah.
You are going and meeting people, you're going and doing networking activities, you're doing and picking up your phone and going through your contacts and calling them up. It could be various different activities that you think is necessary to generate leads for your business.
Correct.
But if you don't measure those activities, it's like you're all over the place.
Yeah.
And you would be like nothing happened. But instead, if you kind of measure all those activities that you have identified is necessary to generate those leads, then you have a clear cut understanding of where your time is being spent and are you sticking to the plan that is recommended as, okay, these activities will give me the results to achieve the goals.
Yeah.
So first, identify what activities should be done to achieve your goals and then forget about it. Forget about your goal. Just focus on your activity and measure them.
Okay. So, good takeaway from this podcast. I think as owners, we have to review our system, make sure not becoming chief everything officer, but something in particular. That's our biggest takeaway from this podcast. Any other things that you want as business owners, they should just take care of it. And if they need an help from you, they can reach out to you. Any kind of such points you want to add?
What I would probably ask everyone to just do is their own business competency assessment. And if they want help with that, they can reach out to me. I offer a free session of business competency assessment where I look at how much of owner dependency is happening, how much of consistency in their activities is happening, and what is the results and efficiency in that.
They don't need to share your numbers with you in this stage. Or do they have to share your numbers? No.
They don't have to.
Okay.
It's just an analysis stage that we do. So it just gets you to think back and understand what is exactly going on and where do you stay in the stage of business. Are you in the struggling stage, a stable stage, scaling stage?
Yeah.
And after that assessment, I'll be able to let you know where exactly you're going and what you could be doing to go to the next stage of growth.
Amazing. And I would highly recommend everybody, if Ranjitha has the time for everybody, to make sure take the test so she will be able to tell you your pain points, and then it is up to you guys whether you guys want to work that. And 2026 is round the corner, so this is the right time to meet her so you can figure out what you want to work in 2026.
Absolutely.
Right?
You said it exactly right.
Perfect. Ranjita, it was amazing having you. Lovely having this conversation as well, and a lot of insights for us.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you for having me.